Now, the area in West Africa called the Sahel, that is Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mauritania, is a largely open region where terrorism and insurgency have significantly expanded in recent years. VOA senior analyst Jeffrey Young examines the situation and the underlying causes of its growing instability.
Africa's Western Sahel, the region just below the Sahara Desert, is exploding with terrorism. A recent report from the Africa Center at the U.S. National Defense University says the number of violent Islamist group incidents in that weakly protected region has doubled each year since 2016. A number of military operations are responding. The G5 Sahel multinational force is there, as is France's Operation Barkhane. There is also the United Nations MINUSMA peacekeeping force in Mali and the U.S. Africa Command, which trains and supports local militaries. However, the Sahel is a largely open space where attackers are difficult to corner. Co-author of the Africa Center report, Pauline Leroux.
It is hard to tell exactly who has the upper hand and who hasn't. What is sure is that the militaries have been striving to counter the insurgencies that have been running.
Mali's March 2012 military coup and subsequent instability provided Islamic extremists with a relatively unguarded place to grow. These groups have since spread to Burkina Faso and Niger. They battled both military forces as well as each other. Via Skype, Soulan Center senior fellow Colin Clarke.
So it's really offshoots and splinter groups directly related to the two major terrorist organizations. And there's a battle for supremacy in this area where you have al-Qaeda seeking to exert its dominance while the Islamic State clings to territory in and around parts of Nigeria. So it's really quite an unstable situation and likely to get worse.
It takes money to fund terrorist operations. And in the Western Sahel, traditional illicit activities now assist Islamic insurgency. Via Skype from the Netherlands, International Center for Counterterrorism analyst Lisbeth van der Heijden.
There's really only one game in town, and that's trafficking, and then trafficking of pretty much everything. I mean, narco trafficking is well known, arms trafficking, human trafficking. So basically anything you can traffic along the centuries-old trade routes in the region, it will be trafficked. And that's the main source of income of most of the terrorist, rebel, militant groups in the region.
When military operations kill Western Sahel's militants, more fighters often emerge. Nations and international bodies can find and stop terrorist revenue sources, but new ones are developed. And there can be ideological support from the population because of underlying regional conditions. Via Skype from Abuja, the director of the research organization Center for Democracy and Development, Idayat Hassan.
The main challenge is that of the root causes, which is a feeling of exclusion, marginalization of the people, and poverty. Rising poverty in the countries is exacerbated.
Hassan joins many other analysts in saying that so long as the people of the Sahel feel their governments do not give them a place at the economic table and a political voice that is responded to, Islamic extremists and other insurgents will have a fertile field of operation. Jeffrey Young, VOA News, Washington.